For the Nissan Patrol, a 5.6-liter 8-cylinder gasoline engine is provided in two versions, VK56VD and VK56D, with a capacity of 405, 400 HP and 317 horsepower respectively. The less powerful engine is identical to the one used in the 2009 Nissan Armada and Infiniti QX56 J60. The stronger one is the one that was installed in the Infiniti QX56 C62 of the 2010 model year, and since 2014 in the Infiniti QX80 C62. The VK56VD is equipped with a DIG direct fuel injection system, as well as a VVL valve timing and lift control system. But all these tricks did not allow to significantly reduce fuel consumption. And the motor itself often provokes the owners to once again put pressure on the gas pedal. Therefore, few people have an 8-cylinder monster that consumes less than 25 liters per 100 kilometers. Nevertheless, subject to the speed limit on the highway and driving at a constant speed without overtaking and stopping, it is quite possible to get a fantastic 15 liters. Unfortunately, the magnificent power unit was not without flaws. One of them is a chain-type timing drive. Some owners encountered his ailment without even going 15,000 kilometers, others failed only after 100,000 kilometers, and still others even learned about the disadvantage, only approaching the 200,000 kilometers mark. The manufacturer acknowledged the defect, a weak timing chain of the right row of cylinders. The chain is additionally loaded by the shaft of the high-pressure fuel pump, TNVD, which leads to its stretching. The main symptom of the disease is a screech, like from a grinder, after starting a cold engine, as the stretched chain begins to touch its inner sides. Some motorists, having heard enough about a possible defect, began to be more reverent about engine maintenance, and more gently play with the gas pedal. But as it turned out, taking care of the engine does not protect against misfortune. Repairs are not cheap. To replace it, you will have to completely disassemble the muzzle, remove the entire frontal part of the engine, and even dismantle the steering rack. Since 2013, a modified chain has been installed. It is worth noting that after professional repair and installation of a reinforced chain, there is no need to return to an unpleasant issue, unlike high-pressure fuel pumps. The high-pressure fuel pump, as a rule, cause problems, not without exception, closer to 100,000 kilometers. However, individual owners have experienced its malfunction at a later run. The reason is a design and manufacturing flaw. The high-pressure fuel pump rod is destroyed. To this it is necessary to add exactly the same list of installation work as when replacing the timing chain, as well as directly preventive replacement of the chain drive. The following defect is of a potential nature. Bad fuel pretty quickly, up to 100,000 kilometers, disables the catalysts. As a result, the engine starts to work intermittently, misfiring occurs, traction drops noticeably, and the malfunction indicator lights up. If tightened with a replacement, the catalyst may collapse, and its remains will fall into the engine, where it will cause irreparable damage to the cylinder walls. Many owners resort to preventive protection. They cut out catalysts without waiting for trouble, followed by the installation of flame arresters, oxygen sensor emulators, and flashing the engine control unit. Nissan VK56VD and VK56D engines use an electric cooling fan clutch. The clutch is controlled not by a bimetallic plate, as before, but by a solenoid valve. Some owners, after 150,000 kilometers, encountered a malfunction of the electric clutch. It stuck, and the fan started to spin like crazy. Sometimes it even came to the point of self-destruction. Paired with a 405 horsepower unit is a 7-speed automatic transmission RE7R01B. Unfortunately, the machine, although to a lesser extent, was also included in the list of possible unpleasant and expensive troubleshooting. Its weak point is the torque converter. Vibrations when starting off, incorrect operation of the automatic transmission, and shocks will tell you about problems with it. The manufacturer, as in the case of the chain, later finalized the problem node. The maintenance schedule does not provide for changing the oil in the automatic transmission. However, Experienced mechanics recommend using common sense and still changing the working fluid at least once every 60,000 kilometers. One remarkable moment cannot be ignored. Many owners noted the box hanging at a speed of 140 km/h. The speed stops increasing. This happens during acceleration after a long movement at a constant speed of about 100 km/h. According to experts, this is how the algorithm for protecting the box from overheating is organized. Fortunately, this feature does not always appear. All SUVs are equipped with an AWD/4WD all-wheel drive system and a new ATX-90A transfer case. The transmission has three basic operating modes: Auto, 4H and 4L. In the Auto mode, the torque between the front 0 to 50% and rear axles 0 to 100% is distributed depending on road conditions. The car remains predominantly rear-wheel drive. In the 4H mode, the torque is distributed between the axles in a ratio of 50 to 50 and can be used up to a speed of 100 km/h. A low gear ratio is available in the 4L mode, which is exclusively for off-road use. Switching on is only possible when the vehicle is completely stationary. If necessary, you can additionally engage the rear differential lock. Transmission units do not have characteristic problems and malfunctions. The Nissan Patrol Y62 was the first production vehicle to be equipped with HBCS, a hydraulic body stabilization system. Previously, the system has found its wide application and has proven itself in rally cars. It plays the role of shock absorbers and anti-roll bars. HBCS consists of 4 shock absorbers and 2 hydraulic accumulators interconnected by hydraulic lines. The unique system is quite reliable. Only over time can the pressure in the system drop, after 150,000 kilometers, which leads to an increase in the mobility of the body, clips, rolls, buildups. Correcting the situation is quite simple. It is necessary to replace the hydraulic fluid and set the working pressure in the system. In some cases, an undiagnosed source of knocking in the suspension disappeared after the pressure was adjusted, which turned out to be below the allowable one. However, the presence of a hydraulic stabilization system complicates the process of replacing shock absorbers. Fortunately, the racks last a long time. In general, the chassis is quite hardy. The first serious interventions are required, as a rule, on a run of 150 to 200,000 kilometers. But the steering begins to pester the owners much earlier. The reason for the complaints is knocking and play in the steering for the first 100,000 kilometers. The source of trouble is the lower intermediate steering shaft. Some have had to change it several times. Not spared the flaws in the body. In particular, the problem of corrosion of the tailgate in the area of the chrome trim of the license plate is common. In addition, the bare metal on the chips soon begins to rust. A similar unpleasant picture can sometimes be observed on the roof. In addition, after a while, the lacquer coating from the chrome door handles will peel off. The first owners massively faced another ailment: the incorrect operation of the glass closer. As a rule, a malfunction arose and was eliminated during the warranty period. Among the minor flaws can be noted creaking in the cabin. Its source is the outer plastic lining at the bottom of the windshield. From time to time, the lid of the refrigerator compartment also creaks. In both cases, gluing helps. Some owners note that when the system for facilitating entry/disembarkation is turned on, the seat and steering wheel move off. The settings for the initial position of the steering will get lost over time. The steering column drops. As a result, you have to reset the given position. With age, another expensive defect appeared. When operating in salty winters, the pipes of the rear circuit of the air conditioner located under the bottom rot. The high cost is due to the peculiarities of laying the line between the body and the frame, and the complexity of the replacement procedure.